Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela. I make career videos here on YouTube focused on finance, and today I have a special guest with me. This is my 4-year-old Shih Tzu, Bubbles. He'll be here with me for the video today since a lot of you guys enjoyed seeing him in my day in the life video. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that's probably my most asked question, and that's exactly what I do as an investment banker. I'm going to be talking about the role of an investment banker, as well as what a typical day in the office looks like, and lastly, the types of tasks that I'm actually doing. But before I begin, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me a lot. Now let's jump right into it. So what is the role of an investment banker? Well, one big misconception is that investment bankers invest or come up with recommendations for investing, but that is not true at all. Pretty much everything I do is non-public information and confidential. It is not at all related to stocks or the public market or things that the public market knows. Essentially, what an investment banker does is that an investment banker is an advisor. They are the middleman between different types of transactions, such as a merger, which is between two similarly sized companies combining, or an acquisition, which is when a larger company acquires a smaller company, or they'll be involved in an IPO and help a company go public, as well as financings for companies that want to raise money in order to either expand their businesses or if they need to raise money to acquire another business. The investment bank is the advisor in all of these situations, and they help their clients, which is the company. Investment banks essentially earn money through fees from all of these transactions. When a company successfully acquires another company, the investment bank earns a fee. For example, when Amazon acquired Whole Foods, there were investment banks representing Amazon, and there are also investment banks representing Whole Foods, and the investment banks on both sides earn a fee after the transaction successfully went through. So what does my typical day-to-day look like in investment banking? I'd say I would generally get into the office around 9:30 a.m. Analysts will get in, generally ranging from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or perhaps slightly later if they had a really late night, for example, a 4 or 5 a.m. night in the office. But in general, I'd say 9:30 a.m. is the norm. First thing I do when I get into the office is sort through my email. I'll generally already have a sense of what these emails are because my mail is the first thing I check on my phone when I wake up in the morning to see if there are any urgent requests that came in from senior bankers very early on in the morning. This is because senior bankers will generally wake up a bit earlier, maybe send out emails around 7 or 8 a.m. that I might have to see. And so the emails that I get early in the morning generally dictate exactly how busy my morning will be. So once I go through these emails, I'll then work on whatever work that I need to do or anything that I had left over from last night. Usually I will tend to skip breakfast and I'll have a slightly earlier lunch around noon, in which I'll usually heat up the food that I had saved left over from my seamless the night before. And I'll usually try to eat in the conference room if I can with other coworkers, or if I'm really too busy, I'll just eat at my desk. It's generally about 50-50. And so in the afternoon, I'd say it's generally more busy. This is because senior bankers will oftentimes send outlines. By the afternoon, you'll generally have a slightly better sense of what you'll have to do for the rest of your day. If you got staffed on a new project, you'll generally get staffed in the morning or early in the afternoon. And if any senior bankers have any new meetings come up or give you comments on your materials, you'll usually know. So in general, the afternoons are quite busy, especially if you're working on a live deal. You'll generally be working on that because the client would have responded back. The afternoon will also be filled with most of the calls because if your call is with the client, they'll usually like to have the call prior to 5 p.m. You'll usually work throughout the evening on different types of materials. You'll generally be on a few projects at once and staffed with different kinds of people. So it's a matter of managing priorities and also being able to manage up, simply because others don't know exactly how much work you have just because you're working with a lot of different types of teams. I'll usually order seamless along with a couple of other analysts and do a big group order so that we can all eat it with each other around 7 p.m. Every day, I'll generally try to make time to eat in the conference room along with the other analysts, and that's usually the part I look most forward to during my day. I'm a big foodie and we always like to try something different, whether it's Indian food, Chinese food, Japanese, Italian. It really ranges every single day and it's quite fun ordering with everyone else. Afterward, by 9 p.m., you'll generally have a good idea of what you have to do for the rest of the night, and there generally won't be any more work coming in unless you're working on a very active live deal, or it's for a meeting that's the next day in which a senior banker might send you comments late at night. So what type of work are investment bankers actually doing, and what exactly am I doing throughout my day? Well, I'll say that the work is generally distributed into 3 categories: internal, pitching, and live deals. So internal work will generally be for senior bankers in order for them to better understand an industry or a company or to better prepare for a meeting. One really simple example of internal work is a PIB, or a public information book. This will essentially just consist of a PDF of combined documents of all of the company's public information. For example, let's say I was making a PIB for Amazon. I would take all of the recent research reports written about Amazon, as well as their latest filings like their 10K, their 10Q, their earnings report, their annual investor presentation. I would combine all of that into a PDF document and send it to the senior banker so that they can better understand this company. So that is an example of internal work. Now, both pitching and live deals are both client-facing, and so they are a bit more intense and have less flexible deadlines compared to internal work. So a pitch is essentially marketing materials. They're free things that we give to clients in order to give them ideas and recommendations that we have so that they can potentially lead to live deals. Pitches can really vary and the amount of work that you'll need to put into them vary, but essentially it could be an introductory or a catch-up meeting in which the deck will be pretty simple, usually just a market update of different companies and how they're trading within that specific sector, or a market update on how the economy is doing in general. But they can also be very detailed. For example, it can be a very specific idea. The managing director might be in very deep talks with this company about potentially acquiring another company. And for these pitches, you might have to do detailed analyses like merger model math in order to show exactly what this transaction might look like should they want to take it on. Now, a live deal is a deal that an investment bank is already mandated on. This is how investment banks earn money. The work you do for live deals generally depends on what type of transaction it is. It could be a buy side or a sell side, which are both M&A deals. It could be a financing, it could be an IPO. There's a multitude of these, but in general, the work that you do will usually involve putting together some sort of marketing materials. What that means is that you'll usually put together a presentation for investors or for companies. You'll need it for all of these types of transactions. For example, for a financing, you need to put together marketing materials in order to show investors so that they can invest. Regardless of what type of project you're on and whether it's internal, a pitch, or a live deal, the majority of your work will be in Excel and PowerPoint. Excel is where you'll put together the charts from data points you found or put together analyses or different kinds of models. And then you will output it onto a PowerPoint along with any other aesthetic slides that the senior bankers might want to show to prove their point during a meeting. I'd say aside from basic financial concepts and concepts on valuation, that you might want to learn prior to starting investment banking. Most of the job is something that you would learn while on the desk rather than something that you can learn prior. Personally, I think anyone can do investment banking and can learn the job. I hope this video was helpful to you guys in terms of understanding a little bit exactly what an investment banker does, what the role is, and what the day-to-day might look like. Honestly, every day is really different and the type of work you're doing is quite different, but there's a general theme and general tools that you'll always be using. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell for notifications. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!